Okay guys, how's it going today? So it's just a little bit warm out. It's getting pretty warm out and stuff. So I've just been playing around here in the shop and trying to redo this redneck roller thing. I came up with a different idea. Of course, it freaking involved all my steel, well, most of it anyway. But I'm still wondering if it's still maybe not going to work. I'll show you what I did here, so hang on a second. Okay, so this is what I came up with. It's kinda cheesy. It kinda works. It works a little bit better, I guess, than what I kinda thought, but it still gets kinda hung up. But backing up's a whole different ball game because it's harder to see. So, and I have to use that long bolt there as a pin because I don't have a pin long enough. So, not too sure what else I could do. I mean, yeah, it looks kind of funny and crooked, but you know what? It keeps it stable enough. So, this actually, I think this here could have moved in a little bit, one hole over. Ah, whatever. Doesn't have to be pretty to work. But yeah, the only problem I'm having, I think, is that one, I think Big Red's hitch is too high. I would like one that's lower. So I may have to try to find one that's a little bit lower than that, but like it seems to be holding it fine. Like I can pick it up and everything by hand and it seems to hold. I mean, apparently this is supposed to hold up to, you know, the pressures of a garage door. Well, this is probably nowhere even near a garage door. So I don't know. I could probably hook it to the John Deere, and I know the John Deere would be probably a lot better for it because the John Deere's so much lower. Probably wouldn't need quite such a long bolt then. But got some pretty nasty hills and whatnot there at the farm too, so I don't really know what to do. Don't really want to take the John Deere down there. That's the only thing I can think of because the John Deere's hitch is so much freaking lower. So much lower that I could probably get away with a smaller bolt. And whatnot, so yeah, I gotta sneeze here. Oh. So I mean, yeah, it's cheesy looking, but I sometimes wonder if it wouldn't be better than you know, than that strap thing that you guys seen. I tried to use this rod here because it was a heavier rod, or channel, or angle iron, or whatever. It's the same as this stuff here. Just wasn't quite long enough, so I had to end up using 2 pieces of my new steel that I bought. I got 1 piece left. I don't know how the steel will be after being used, but it should be okay though, I think. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Probably should get the John Deere in here and try the John Deere, but I just like Big Red better because of the 4-wheel drive and whatnot, even though I don't really need it, but I mean, it works, but sometimes the pipe will come over and then it'll get pinched and then it won't spin. But again, it doesn't really exactly have to spin, but it puts, there's less, you know, there's less pull on the hitch than that way. So Yeah, I don't know. Because if you put the John Deere's, because the John Deere's hitch would be right in there. Uh, these corners, these sharp corners might actually get caught on the tires. I don't know if that would be a good idea either. Probably should go get the John Deere and just, you know, figure around with it and see what the hell, because it's like it works on Big Red. It's just that this is up too high, and then it's kind of, you know, the John Deere would be easier because I can look behind me. So Big Red, you know, on Big Red, the all the ass in there is in the way. You know, so it's harder to back up. I've noticed that it's so much harder to back things up with Big Red than it is the John Deere. I don't know why. So I don't know. Don't know what to say. I may go get the John Deere and just see what it would be like. Because I don't know what else to really do. That's really about all I can think of. I have one more idea, but that's not what I want to do. And that's probably not going to work either. I know that I tried using one of these, so I was going to try to mix something out of these at one time too, but tried those, but that wasn't going to work either. And I'm not sure how strong that would be to use as a hitch, because yeah, you just never could anyway. So that's not going to work either. Don't know what else to say. That's about really all I can think of. The best thing would be to do is maybe just get the John Deere down here and hook that up and see what it's like. And then I'll probably take it down there in Big Red, though. I'll probably just throw it in the back of the trailer or the dump cart and haul it that way. And then leave it down there, I guess, for a while or something. So I don't know. Let me go get the John Deere and maybe we'll see how that looks. So I guess give me 1 minute. Okay, guys. So it's been a couple hours, well, maybe about an hour or two since the last clip I made. I did try to hook the John Deere to it, and it just wasn't going to work out for the John Deere because of the frickin' four-wheel steering and shit. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. I got it down here in the bush right now. I'm just going to go park it, because I'm not gonna. I'm waiting for a rain to move in, and they're talking rain on possibly, I think, either starting tonight or into about Sunday. Sunday they're talking severe, because we're actually in for a severe watch at that point. So I did try some other one other thing. I had another hitch that I had on Big Red before I got this hitch, and that's obviously what kind of dug into Big Red's hitch there a little bit. So I was going to put that on, because it did actually make it about an inch lower, which even an inch will make a difference, but it just, see, the thing is, that's just a bolt on, and the bolt would just turn. So again, you would have to make some kind of a thing where that didn't turn. So I figured, save myself the bullshit trouble and just leave it as it is. So we're just going to hook it up to Big Red, and I'm just going to pull it wherever I need to take it to. And we'll just deal with it as it is. I mean, yeah, it's a redneck deal, but it may work. I might even take it for a quick spin too, just to see how it works. If it'll work to my liking or not. No matter what, I'm going to use it, so I guess let me get this thing hitched on, and then I'll show you, I guess, what I'm dealing with here. Okay, so I thought of something a little bit different here. Not sure how good it'll be on the bolt, but I just went on the bottom, actually. What I normally do is I put this actually on top of the hitch, but this actually gets it down. So, I mean, yeah, I got kind of a long bolt, but maybe that might actually be a good thing. I mean, yeah, I got a washer underneath there too, just so the bolt there, or the nut can't, you know, I don't think the nut would go through the hole anyway, but just in case. Had to put a couple of big ones on top here, because the little ones would go right through. But yeah, this is all just bolted together. This is going to get me by for the summer. Probably because by next year I might end up having a brush hog. Most likely a pull type. I'll probably end up getting it from DR. I went and looked at DRs a couple weekends ago, and man, they've really changed them since the last ones. Now the new ones have caster wheels on the front, which were the ones last year, a few years ago, didn't have that. So I guess these will be a little bit better. I guess, I don't know. I don't know how this will be for backing up, but it may be okay. I mean, you can see it's going to move, but it's good to have some flex to it, because if I should hit a stump or something, it may actually move. So let's actually just try this thing. We got to take it to our secret spot. And, well, it's not a secret. Well, it's just whatever. Pull it in low. Yeah. See, sometimes it gets stuck there. I'll go for a little bit of tall stuff here. That works. Not much moisture on the grass though, that's the problem. It will wander on me, but I may have to disconnect it to back up. I don't know. But you know what? It's not really that big of a deal, because I'm not going to be pulling it that freaking often. Alrighty, so I went and made one round, and I'm actually pretty freaking impressed with this thing. It's actually done a pretty good job, regardless if the grass is kind of wet or not. There's a couple of things that I don't like about it, but I could probably fix it easy, but I figure what the hell is really the point, because this only has to last me a couple of months anyway. Because after like July-ish, you know, kind of thing, the grass isn't really going to grow much. But I went over it once, and that's what it's done. Mind you, this was crushed earlier than that, but way down there at the where I stopped at is where you would be able to tell a big difference. But it works. It's got some minor problems, but I don't know. Don't know if it's really worth fixing. It seems to be bending here, but first thing first is if you're going to make anything like this, I highly recommend that you just weld the bitch together. Now, which is what I could have done, but I just bolted mine together because I figured it's not gonna. It does not need to last for a lifetime. It's only got to last me a couple of months, which it will. I think the only thing I should have done, which I'll show you here in a second, so give me a second. Okay, so as you can see, it's just kind of crooked now again. Well, that's because it's all bolted together, so it's warping, but is that this is only bolted together, and you can see it's just got some slop in it, and the bolt is loose too, which is actually kind of not a good thing. So I probably should have Probably should have put that on with the impact. That's why that was getting so freaking sloppy, because the bolts are getting loose. Well, did I forget to tighten these? Maybe no, I tightened those. I don't know, either I forgot to tighten these or they just loosened up on their own. Yeah, see, they're getting loose. Yeah, that one I know I tightened, so they're just getting loose. Well, I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to swap those over with locking nuts. I just use regular nuts, well, they obviously seem to be loosening themselves back up. So I'll have to come down here with a shit pile of locking nuts, and they'll work. Then I should keep it together. But if you're going to do this, I recommend either welding this or double bolting it. See, I just went with the one bolt. I actually probably could have threw a tack weld on there, which probably wouldn't have had hurt. The other thing that it's going on here is that my bolt that I used is completely bent. So it's not taking the load very well. I don't know why it doesn't. I don't know, maybe it's heavier than what that bolt likes. So meaning I'll probably have to replace it every couple of times I go over I use this stupid thing. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just actually going to unbolt this now, because I'm not going to use it anymore tonight. But yeah, if I would have bolted or welded that there, what you guys are looking at now, that there would have saved me a shit of trouble right there. It's not a big deal. I could tell you this now, it's a lot better than using a fucking strap or a chain. Simply because I know that I can pull this cocksucker and it's not going to go anywhere. Unless the bolts fail, but... So, yeah, I did have a nut and a washer on the bottom side. So, you can see, doesn't seem... Well, you guys are not even looking at that. You're not going to see it anyway, but... It doesn't seem to be broken, it just seems to be bent. So that might be good for another round yet. Which I'm really surprised that it... I mean, I just pulled it. Look at how much is bent already. Well, this is kind of a weak bolt anyway. A thicker one would be better, but the thing is, then I can't get it in my thing. So that's the problem. Actually, what I need to do is I'm gonna have to put you guys down for a minute, because I'm gonna put the bolt back in there. I'll leave it here with this stuff. So 1 minute. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it here under this tree, because they are talking some rain. So, but yeah, I'm gonna have to come back tomorrow, or whenever the next time I decide to pull this thing, and replace the nuts. Put on locking nuts just so you know, they can't come loose again, because I guess obviously these larger nuts can come loose. What's nice though is that the roller, for the most part, it continues to roll. It doesn't clog up or nothing. I pinched my frickin' finger. That's a bad thing about those frickin' steel things. When you got two steel things together, if you got fat skin and that gets between the two, yeah. Now I got a bruise there on my finger. Son of a bitch. And for you wondering sons of bitches, yeah, this is my trail. For the most part, well, it's for us. It ain't for scumbags. Because my grandma hasn't, I don't think she's been down here yet this year. I don't think she's been down here for a couple of years. No, she might have been down here this year, I think. Yeah, she was, because I remember showing her that tree that was down, so... Yeah, she was down here this year. But we couldn't go all the way. So, but now we can. So, yeah, I am going to invest in a brush hog. I think a pull type will be fine. I'm not going to get any ones from Northern Tool, because they sell them as well. But they just don't seem like they would be up for the job. DR, They're more expensive, you know, but I don't know, I think that since it has the caster wheels on the front now, that might be a better choice for down in here, because this is some pretty freaking hilly land and whatnot. So yeah, the roller went over this stuff pretty good. I mean, this trail's actually opened again. There's one thing I'd like to do, but I can't do it because I got the other end closed. Is bring the cultivator down here and rip up this trail. Get it back to dirt again like it was. I mean, you can see we're pretty freaking close to dirt, so couple of rounds and then you'd have it dirt again. Well, the thing is I want to get some gates and stuff put up, and yeah, this is where this is where we got stopped because this big tree. Well, I cut the tree down. I got rid of it, most of it anyway. As you can see, so we're walking right through it, and this is where now I took the roller through. The most part of it, I had taken the roller through here earlier, but that was when I had the straps. I've never had it through here with the new setup. And that's, I mean, it's a little bit, you can tell that it looks like it hasn't done much, but it has. It's just some areas you don't see it as much. Like right here, maybe it looks like it didn't do much, but it did. So I may come back. I'm going to have to come back here tomorrow and put locking nuts on that. I really should just bring it back up to the yard and tack weld it. I guess I could always cut the welds later on, but that doesn't really matter. Like, it's pulling fine. The only thing that you cannot back up with it, that's for sure. Maybe that's why the bolt got bent, because I tried backing up with it. So yeah, no matter what, if I have to turn around, I have to unhook it. Which is not a big deal because I don't plan on pulling it that much. You know, I'm just going to pull it as I need it. Now they're talking rain, you know, possibly starting tonight and working its way onto Sunday or Monday. So if we get a shower down here, I'll try to come in between the showers and hit it with the roller, and that'll really son of a bitch it down, and then we'll be good for a while. I'm gonna have to get out of here though. The mosquitoes are getting terrible now. But yeah, I would like to bring the cultivator in here, but I have no way to turn around on the north end because I got it blocked off with those trees, right? So I'm gonna have to fence it off and then move the trees and then bring the cultivator in and work this piece. There's one more tree that I have to work on. I think we'll be fine for this year. I don't have hardly any fuel left, so I'm gonna either leave it or deal with it next year. It's just this little tree right here. See how the trail goes around? It's just like a little branch, but it's part of a tree. It really wouldn't take much to cut it, but yes, and by the way, this stuff right here, these weeds, it's some kind of a poison ivy. It's not like a real poison ivy because I had accidentally touched it a couple days ago, and where I touched it, it actually started getting a little bit itchy, and it started getting some bumps on it. But it only lasted for like 5 minutes, so after that it was gone. So it had to have been just some kind of it's probably like some kind of a weak poison ivy plant. Probably should come down here with Roundup and spray, but it's not really worth it. Just get the cattle down here and let them stomp on it enough times. They'll crush it and kill it. So, because it's all in there now too. So, well, yeah, I'll come back tomorrow or whenever, or I'll replace those regular nuts with locking nuts. I have some. Should have probably did that in the fucking first place, but I didn't know that they would work themselves loose. Of course, I didn't put them on super tight, but I put them on hand tight, and that should have held, but whatever. It didn't hold, so where did I put it now? Right here. So we'll leave her there for tonight. We'll pick her up tomorrow. I'm gonna have to bring another pin or another bolt, and leave it here with this one too. I'm gonna at least leave another one, because who knows when that'll break, right? I mean, that could, maybe it won't break now since it's bent, but it may break. So I'm going to bring a spare one with me and I'll just hook it onto this and leave it. Or I'll leave it on a bigger edge somewhere, but that's what I'm going to have to do. But yeah, I'm going to have to replace those regular nuts with locking nuts, I guess. The only problem is, though, that this here bends. Well, it's obviously only just bolted one. If it would have double bolted it, it never would have done that. But no big deal. Yeah, I could have welded it all together. The thing is that in here, inside my roller, are 2 new pieces that I bought at the hardware. Those 1.5 by 1.5 inch angle iron that I bought. I had to bolt 2 of them together. They're double bolted. Shorty bolts too. And I don't even, maybe they're getting loose too. I don't know. I'll know because it'll probably open up and then my roller will fall off. Then I'll know. Then I'll have to put locking nuts on. I just put regular nuts on that as well. But it works. It works. Can't back up with it though, which is fine. I can just unhook it and then turn around and then hook it back on. I mean, I can move this by hand. It's not that heavy, so I ain't, you know, for the amount of times that I'm going to pull it, you know, well, I may pull it quite a bit, but it depends too on what goes on. I mean, this will perk back up in probably a few days, especially with, you know, if we get rain or something. But I'm going to hit it with when we get some rain, and then it should be decent. So that's the new redneck setup. It works, but it's definitely not gonna, I wouldn't say it's long term, but it's short term anyway. If it lasts me the rest of the season, I'm perfectly fine with that. Because the next year I'll probably have a brush hog or something that I can run through here. I might even have a disc, I don't know. Discs are freaking expensive too, like $500-600 for a decent sized one. So, but yeah. So anyways, guys, I'm going to take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.
Thank you.